Saturday night. And to those of you down in Australia, happy Sunday morning. I got my days right. So let's see if y'all can hear me and we will get things rolling along. And I can pretty much bet Jacob will be the first one to tell me 5 by 5 and we'll go from there. So let's see what we got. And there he is. Okay. Hello, everybody. One hell of a week, huh? Well, all right. We made it through it. So we'll have some normal Saturday night fun, do everything here. So, as per normal, start with a little bit of housekeeping here and say a few hellos. I saw Down on Boddington Farm came in, so there's our representation from down under. Of course, my mods, Jacob and Jason, are in here, and Just Exploring Every Path is in here. So we've got all of those guys, so they'll keep it nice and clean as we keep it. At least keep the trolls out of the house. Do all that. But yeah, I just wanted to say a few hellos here. Saw Southern Belle Teacher in here, David Green, Alicia Robinson, Cross the Line, Terry Calcal. I was just chatting with you, like you said, over at TJ's live stream an hour or so ago. Old Riders in here, Lisa Preps, Rhonda Pagan, Becky Reed, Patriot Ref, American Warrior. All right, so a whole bunch of you guys are in here. Good deal. So I wanted to touch on a couple of things before we get started today, just in case, y'all missed some of this. So, and of course, we'll start out with COVID. And I don't know if anybody noticed this, but all of a sudden, some people in the Biden administration are, at least in an interview today, told the Toronto Sun newspaper that they think COVID-19 was actually or most likely an accidental lab leak in Wuhan. Gee. Kind of strange what we heard last year for, 8 months? That couldn't be the truth. So it was just kind of interesting that was reported today. And then the other one, don't know if y'all caught this one. The National Guard in DC, I guess they're now talking about keeping 5,000 to 7,000 of these guys through mid-March. Hope they're not going to be sleeping in the parking garage. But personally, I'm hoping they're doing that on a volunteer basis, because if y'all get an idea, National Guard, I think y'all know this, I mean, they're do their weekend a month, okay? They can get called up to active duty, but these folks all have regular jobs. And while the laws have changed that you can't get fired from your regular job because of being called to active duty, they're safe there. But this really throws a curveball into, things like child care or, whatever would be, especially if they're single parents. So I'm hoping they did this on a volunteer basis and said, we need to keep 5,000 to 7,000 people who want to stay. And, maybe the people who are currently unemployed can stay and get their national, a full month, month and a half National Guard paycheck. Rather than taking guys and gals from their regular jobs and putting that business shorthanded and messing things up there. So don't know, but all I know is the major in charge of, I guess, he's a spokesman for the National Guard, said that they're going to continue to keep 5,000 to 7,000 people in D.C. My only question is, why do we need 5,000 to 7,000 National Guardsmen protecting the White House and the Capitol? Is there something going on that we don't know? Okay, because, all those massive riots that supposedly were going to happen on Inauguration Day never happened. So just kind of an interesting thought, wondering what that's all there for. Don't have any information, certainly trying to figure it out, not conspiracy theory stuff. But I just find it very strange that we need to keep a force in Washington like that. So that was just kind of what I wanted to touch today. Somebody just mentioned Hank Aaron died. Larry King also died, if you guys saw that too. So who knows? Maybe it's because of the election. But such as so. So all right. So on to typical Saturday. As I ask you guys every week, if you've got questions, please put them in all caps so I can see them. Makes my life a lot easier as I'm scrolling by and trying to chase everything that the chat room does as I'm scrolling up and down. So I will go dig through here and see what we find. So we will go on along here. All right. Do. Where is it? Okay, so Ricky's asking, what are they really planning in DC? Looking at the back door, they're up to no good. Like I just said, I wish I knew. It's just, it doesn't make any sense why, you've got, DC is still the most heavily policed, I guess, if you will, area in the country between Metro Police and Capitol Police and obviously the Secret Service, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's more forces there, and now you need to add 5,000 to 7,000 people. I did see something to, give their people some time to stand down and relax. Okay, that's not what law enforcement does. Those guys are basically on 24/7. Sure, they need a day off, everything, but I don't think the Metro Police are going, I need to go take a vacation. Can you get the National Guard in here? And I need 7,000 people to cover me. Okay, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Where else are we? John Sorbo saw a headline on Newsmax that Fauci says infections might be plateauing. I did a video on that day before yesterday. I get such a kick out of it that all of a sudden we have, a new administration in the White House, and boom, everything's getting better all of a sudden. But like I said in the video, 1.7 million people under lockdown in China. The Dutch are looking at a long-term lockdown. I don't know if anybody saw in Great Britain. They're now looking at extending their lockdown from the spring until the summer now. So it's amazing how Fauci, who, is so happy to be working under the Biden administration now, everything's all of a sudden good here. The rest of the world supposedly still sucks, but here it's all good, So, the guy's so political, it's unbelievable. He changes his mind as the wind blows. So, I don't believe a word Fauci says. So, and I think pretty much you guys are probably all the same because the guy's a complete hack. So, let's see where else we got. Yeah, Teresa, I saw that today. God bless President Trump putting the troops up in a Trump hotel. Now, this is what confused me on that, because I saw something a few days ago around the inauguration where they were talking about each one of the 25,000 National Guardsmen that were in D.C. was given a hotel room, one person to a room. So they weren't even sharing rooms. But now all of a sudden, the inauguration is over, and so they had to move out of their hotel and go sleep on, in the Capitol Visitor Center or then into the parking garage. I completely agree with some of these governors who are recalling their troops and saying, no, we're not keeping them there. Again, the National Guard is not a federal police force because, AOC is worried about somebody who supposedly tried to bring a gun onto the Florida House. Okay, sorry, no. That's what the Capitol Police are for. They're not. The National Guard is not Congress's personal bodyguard. Okay, just doesn't work like that. But as for Trump offering to put him up in the hotel, okay, he doesn't have 25,000 rooms there, but hey. This still tells you the guy was pro-military, pro-USA, And, I mean, obviously he lost a boatload of money being in the White House because he had to divest himself from his businesses for 4 years. And now, even as a private citizen, he's like, oh, you know what? I'll just take the take it in the shorts for, you know, leaving my hotel, filling my hotel rooms without getting paid for it. I'm assuming. Okay, who knows if he's going to build a National Guard, but put the troops up because you got to remember, everything else in that hotel, the maids still have to work. Okay, the cleaning crews, vacuuming the hallways, doing whatever, bellhops and everything, they're all still working. And if there's no income, that's just more money that's going out of Trump's pocket. And I doubt that he's can, like I said, write a an invoice to the National Guard saying, "Hey, you owe me this," because I mean that's got to be approved, through appropriations. So, okay, where are we going next? Do. Old Rider. Wonder if they're getting hazard pay. I doubt it. Usually hazard. I mean, unless they're declaring DC a combat zone, uh, they get regular active duty pay, but I don't think they'd be getting any hazard pay. Okay, where are we? And scrolled up again. Oops, I gotta find. Okay, bear with me. Carrie Gray, looks like they're planning to do something that will cause rioting. There was some crazy story somewhere. I remember that, March 4th is, I guess there's some sort of march on Washington. I think it's a Antifa march or something like that. I'm not sure. I just heard a real quick blurb on it. Maybe that's what it's got something to do with. I don't know. Uh, Brett Ringer, yeah. So it's okay to have troops in the city now. It wasn't when Trump wanted them. Exactly. We can have 5 to 7,000 troops in Washington D.C. when nothing's going on, but God forbid have us have troops in Portland or Seattle or Minneapolis when there's riots going on. Again, the lack of logic just dumbfounds me. It it it's all political, and using the military as a political pawn is just completely wrong. I mean, I don't care how you slice it. This is all posturing, political posturing is the only thing I can say about what they're doing with the National Guard. And the ones that are getting screwed in all of this are the National Guardsmen and their families, like I said earlier. So, uh, prepping time. Do I think they're deputizing the guard for other reasons than they're saying? No, I mean, they deputized a couple thousand of them, and they were probably more of platoon leaders or something like that. Uh, you know, the I don't I, depending on how familiar everybody is with military structure and chain of command. Platoon leader is usually going to be a lieutenant. Uh, you know, they're the ones that are probably going to get the arrest authority. I I can't see any other reason to deputize them. I mean, other than have arrest capability. Uh, David Williams, maybe to protect Biden from the caravan that he's let in. Well, the caravan hasn't got here yet, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens if and when they do get through Mexico and get up to the southern border. What happens? If they're uh, kept on the other side of the border, if they're brought across and put in cages, or if they're just released willy nilly into society. That's going to be a very interesting thing that'll happen here in the next few weeks if the caravan gets that far. Uh, Lisa Preps, I was going to buy oxygen absorbers to put in quart mason jars with rice and beans. A little spooked about botulism. Uh, Certainly with rice and beans, you don't have to worry about it because there's no oils in them. Okay. And if you think about what the oxygen absorber is going to do, it's going to suck the oxygen out. If you think of like a a brick of ground coffee when you buy it. That's all it's going to do to it. Okay, so you don't have to worry about botulism with your rice and beans or anything like that with oxygen absorbers. I mean, I use it for flour, I use it for sugar, rice, beans. Just put it in Mylar bags or in food grade buckets first. I mean, I put my rice and beans in Mylar bags in food grade buckets with oxygen or absorbers sealed off. So, just extra protection. I don't have any problems with it. I mean, we just opened up one of the the buckets of rice that we've had that's a year and a half old or something. Opened it up the other day because we didn't have any rice in the pantry and we needed rice. And so I opened it up and it was fine. No problem. Put a new oxygen absorber in, sealed it back up, closed up the bucket. Back to business I go. If you're just going to put them in mason jars, I mean, 100 cc, that's more than enough in it. I'm putting a couple of those in a 5-gallon bucket, so it's probably got 4 gallons worth of rice in it with the Mylar bag, because obviously there's some space that the bag isn't perfectly fit. Ricky Beerlard, did I see the article with QAnon? Shimon said he was duped by Trump. I don't listen to QAnon at all. Okay, they're just, I'm sorry, I don't listen to conspiracy theorist crap. They're not worth any effort out of me, so I don't pay attention to it. Old Rider, good comment. Yeah, Lisa, be sure you freeze the rice for at least 2 days before putting it up. Reason you want to do that, you want to do that with like rice, you want to do it with flour, because you could have any sort of bug eggs or anything in the packaged rice or packaged flour or whatever it would be. Freezing it will kill it, because the last thing you want to do is have maggots hatch in your rice and you open it up and then it's done. So yeah, Old Rider's definitely correct. There is freeze it for a couple of days before putting it up. Teresa, Biden told the Border Patrol to let all the illegals go. Crime to get way worse. Okay, I haven't heard that. Again, if he's doing the same policy as Obama, here's your court date, please show up, and they have, a 8 or 9% attendance rate. If he does it, yeah, we're going to have the same issue that we had with Kate Steinle and all this sort of stuff. And I think this time the American people are just not going to put up with it. We know the whole thing about, he wants to put the 11 million illegals, supposedly, I bet you it's closer to 20 million, on a fast track to citizenship. Well, I want to know what that fast track to citizenship is, because Mrs. Pinball obviously came over here on a K-1, a spousal visa, okay? And, if anybody's seen the show, 90 Day Fiance or whatever it is, literally I went over there, everything, and then when we finally got her visa to come over here, we had 90 days from her arriving to get married, okay? And so we did. And from the point of getting married to the point that she got her citizenship was 4.5 years. And it's multiple thousands of dollars to do this. And I mean, stacks of paperwork. I mean, you'd kill a small forest filling out all this paperwork. And it's going to be really interesting if I see this fast track to citizenship going, come in, and as long as you can count to 10 in English, you're here. And that'll drive me absolutely insane from everything that we had to go through. I mean, I can't tell you how many hundreds of hours we had to put in collecting paperwork and finding tax returns and old bank records and bills and God knows what. So, Jules, thank you very much for the super chat. That is greatly appreciated. Thank you much. Let's see. Lori D, do I feel that Mr. Trump has a trump card to still place it? Okay, guys, I'm going to say this. I've been saying it for months now. Trump is not moving into the White House. All right. If by any chance, for some reason, at this point, Biden is, there was all the stories that, Biden was going to get arrested at the inauguration. Okay, please stop believing all that crap. It's just crap. And I mean, if there's any reason that Biden's removed from the presidency, Kamala Harris becomes president. And if Kamala Harris, for some reason, is removed, then Nancy Pelosi's become president. All right. And as much as I can't stand Joe Biden, of those three, I would rather have Biden being the one in the White House because the other two are worse. You know, it's, the enemy you know versus the enemy you don't. So, but no, there is no trump card for Trump to get in. There's no secret court hearing or whatever it is. I mean, there's some of this crap that's being put out on the internet, and it's just unbelievable, insane. Okay, just no, don't. I made a comment to somebody today. If the only place you can find a story is on YouTube, then there's no truth to it, okay? Because if there was anything legitimate going on to the Trump card, as the question went here, okay, there would be some news organization that would report it. I'm not saying CNN or MSNBC or something like that, okay, but an OANN or a Newsmax or a Sky News or somebody would be talking about it. The only person to know that would not be some YouTube content creator. All right, so we got to stop and think for a second. I mean, if I'm telling you something, it's because I've found verifiable, most of the time what I'm telling you is quotes, okay? And I've been able to find it, okay? And if it's my opinion, I'm going to tell you it's my opinion. But when these people are coming up and going, oh, I have this secret White House informant that told me this, okay, really? If you have a secret White House informant and, Rupert Murdoch doesn't, that's telling me something, okay? So don't buy that. Don't buy into the stuff, guys. It's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down. Okay, where are we? Ricky said gas went up 30 cents overnight in Northeast Ohio. I still say we're going to see $4 gas this year, guys. I mean, shutting down the Keystone pipeline, they're going to end fracking. We're going back to the war on coal. We're going to wind up having to import energy again. And, because the Middle East is going to cut us such a deal, right? Okay. It's not going to happen. We're going to see expensive gasoline. So, in that, I was out doing this today. If you got your 5-gallon cans of gas, make sure you rotate it. Okay, I was taking all the gas from my 5-gallon cans, putting it in my truck today. Tomorrow, I'm going to go refill all my 5-gallon cans of gas with fresh gas. Because remember, gas is only going to be good for about 6 months till it starts going stale. So you need to swap it out a couple of times a year. Teresa, yep, you shut down the pipeline. Gas and oil are going to be very high. I feel really bad for the people up in New England right now who are on oil heat because as oil's going up and we're supposed to have a massive cold snap hit next week, go through the Midwest and North New England, if they haven't already got their oil, which I'm hoping they have, it's January, but we'll see, what the price of heating oil goes up to. Jason, $5 gas by June, I bet. That would crush the economy. That would be worse than if unemployment went to 20%. Okay, because at that point, you think about, oh crap, I've got to put this amount of money in my gas tank. And I remember, was it 2008, 2009? I think I was paying $4.75 a gallon when I was living in Indiana. But driving a good old, at the time, Dodge pickup truck that got 13 miles to a gallon, it wasn't exactly comfortable. But where I say that's going to be a killer to the economy is truck drivers, because we all know diesel fuel usually runs about 50 cents more than gas. Why? I have no idea. Okay, diesel fuel should be a third of the price of gasoline. But you get into, okay, if the gas prices for the truckers go up, that cost is going to get passed on somewhere, and that means your groceries go up by that amount. Your tennis shoes, your towels, whatever you're buying, Walmart prices are going to go up everywhere, because if the supply chain costs that much more to use, that cost all gets passed down to you. Okay, The man at the bottom of the hill, shit rolls downhill. You're at the bottom of the hill. So, what's my take on the Keystone Pipeline, Bruce? Well, I think it was probably one of the best things that we've done. I can't believe we've been trying to get this thing done for over 20 years. It's like start it up, shut it down, start it up, shut it down. But all of a sudden in the last couple of years, we wind up energy independent. And, one of our allies, Canada, wants to ship oil through the United States to our refineries to refine them. It's a win-win situation. Canadians working, Americans working, whole nine yards. I mean, you got engineers and construction guys and whatever would be very good. It's again, we don't have solar powered cars, or we've got electric cars. Okay, that's great. And an electric car, first off, I'm not going to fit in an electric car at my size. They don't make one big enough for me. All right. Second off, if I want to drive, let's say to see my daughter at Indiana University, where am I going to charge the car? Okay. And even if I do find somewhere to charge the car, you go 500 miles on a charge. Great. Now I got 500 miles. Now I got to sit here for 8 hours and wait for the car to charge rather than 15 minutes to fill the tank of gas. Okay. There are so many problems. There aren't enough charging stations. They want to spend trillions of dollars to put charging stations all over the country. That's wonderful. I want to see what kind of payload a electric 18-wheeler can haul. Okay, that'll be why they're diesel, because diesel pulls more. It's stronger than a gasoline engine. It doesn't have the pickup, but it's got the torque. Well, you're not going to get that with an electric truck. So, again, these are great ideas, but the technology isn't there. It doesn't make sense. Fine, make this Agenda 2200. That we're going to have electric semi trucks, but don't try to say, oh, we're going to have this in 8 years. We're not going to. Okay, it's just not realistic. Okay, Jules, I didn't see your comment before. Hubby says to tell you thanks. I'm so tired from garage sale stuff. Hadn't had time to make my honey-to list. Well, and you kind of going off of the video the other day, I know we were talking about, and ways to make money. And I'm hoping you're not having a garage sale in January. That would be kind of crazy. But for getting ready for spring, sure. Bradford Homestead, I saw comments on a Biden Instagram post. People are already incredibly pissed on both sides. Well, we knew the right was going to be pissed, and we knew the far left was going to be pissed. And when Biden comes out, I think it was yesterday, and said he's going to be a moderate president, I mean, he just pissed off everybody. He's not going to the right. And the far left isn't going to deal, but even the liberals, okay, not the moderate Democrats, the liberals are going, we don't want that either. So, congratulations. You didn't win an election in the first place, and now you pissed off the people that cheated. Voted for you. Terry Calcal, I noticed at the inauguration, everyone seemed to be scared and in misery. Yeah, I think they all realized that Joe Biden's their president. That's, like I said in a video a long, long time ago, here's the guy who's going to tell one of his generals, I want you to nuke South Korea right now. And they're going to look at him and go, sir, I told you what, sir, do you mean North Korea? Yeah, whichever one. That'll be Joe Biden. Okay. He doesn't know what day it is. Not that I have much to say about that anyway, because I keep screwing it up. But, yeah, no. JM at the Nut House. Did you all see all the thumbs down on the White House YouTube page? Yeah, and I added mine too. It was funny. It was like a 4 or 5 to 1 ratio on all the videos on YouTube. And what was even more interesting about it was YouTube would go and erase all the thumbs down, and within like an hour they were all back up. So it was 4,000 thumbs up and 11,000 thumbs down, and then all of a sudden it was 4,000 thumbs up and no thumbs down. Given an hour, it was back to 8,000 thumbs down. So yeah, not anywhere I want to be. I cannot imagine how anybody is would possibly want to work in this administration, because talk about a career killer. It's like, okay, you better be close to retirement, because you're going to be a laughing stock the rest of your career. Yeah, Paul, what? YouTube not solid information? Not a whole lot of it. Okay, maybe about 10% of it's good. You can get good information, learn a lot of good stuff, but as for a news outlet, no, I wouldn't count on Yahoo or YouTube, and well, Yahoo either, as a news outlet. Uh, Chief Jim, learn about the primary system. It's your only chance to get rid of bad people. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, you got those 10 representatives that voted to impeach Trump for this clown show that's going to happen here in a few weeks. And they are already, all 10 of them are already getting primary challengers lined up. Because, I mean, like Liz Cheney is, I mean, she's toast. I mean, she's the number 3 Republican in the House of Representatives, and she's toast. I mean, Wyoming voted 70% for Trump, and she's gonna vote to impeach him. I mean, she's done. And I guess there's a Air Force ex-Air Force pilot who's running against her or something like that. And again, Wyoming is a very red pro-military state, so unless this guy has skeletons in his closet, Liz Cheney better be looking to see if Hooters is hiring or something. That would be a scary thought. Have her as my waitress. Oof, no. Ricky, you're looking for looking for 5 a gallon for gas. Okay. I'm not. I don't want to see that, but it's very possible. If you have any ability to store, like I said, 5 or 6 cans of gas, 25, 30 cans of gas, do it. I mean, I know it's not going to make that big of a deal, but if it's $5 a gallon of gas, you're probably going to try to avoid driving at all possible. And if you've got a few gas cans, at least that saves you a little bit of money. I mean, 30 gallons at $2.50, that's $75. So, I mean, it's not going to make any huge difference or last that long, but every penny counts in this administration. Kevin Grip, another tax increase. That'll be one. That's something else that I think about is, we hear all the stories about infrastructure. And how do most infrastructure bills get paid for? With the gas tax. And we haven't had a gas tax hike since the early 90s. So we're well overdue for one. And it would not surprise me one bit if we don't raise the federal excise tax on gasoline. Raptor Ranch, you're dehydrating garlic tonight. Change the subject. Okay. I'm just going through questions, brother. What you guys are asking is what I'm talking about. Vester Dillon, I found a 1-pound bag of rice, an original bag only from 3 years ago in the back of the cabinet. Had some for dinner. Yeah, just fine. Yeah, exactly. The rice won't go rancid. There's no oils in it. Jared Gray, do I think the Biden request for a threat assessment will use to justify gun control? I've said this over and over and over again, guys. Gun control is a fallacy. It will never happen. There's no possible way to do it. All right. And I've worked out the math in comments before for people. There's 330 million people in the country. There's 1.3 million military. Plus there's about 93,000 or 930,000, something like that, troops. It works out, the math works out that if every single cop and every single military personnel, okay, and mind you, you got military personnel that are admins and cooks and whatever it is, okay, if every single one of them went to every house, each one of them would have to go to 1,250 houses approximately to by themselves to confiscate weapons. Okay. It's never going to, I mean, how many years upon years upon years upon years would this take? And, like the old joke on, don't try to outrun a cop when you're speeding because you can't outrun a radio. All right. If somebody comes in the town near me and says, "Oh my God, they just knocked on my door to come confiscate my guns," he's calling me. Okay, there are a couple of subscribers in here who live in the town of, right near me. You know, I'm going to get a message from one of them. Go hide them. Okay, I'm gone. You know, it's not. There's no way to do it. Okay, as in regards to confiscation. What they can do, and this is what I see as more realistic, is like they were talking about this tax, right? A $200 tax on any firearm, a $200 tax on any magazine, and price everybody out of the market. There's nothing in the Constitution that says they can't tax the living hell out of firearms. Okay. That's why I said before the election, I said, I did a video, things to do before the election. I said, buy your firearms if you haven't already. You got to get them. Okay. Because this is exactly what's going to happen. We all know ammo is getting scarcer by the day. I mean, I looked yesterday, and I think for remanufactured 55 grain 223 ammo, it's over $1 around. So yeah, that's how they'll do it. They're gonna tax people out of it. But as for taking them away, that's just not realistic. Now, without any ammo, it's a heavy paperweight. I agree with all of that, but there's nobody. Beto's not coming for your guns. It ain't happening. Foggy Mountain Man. Yep, pinball guest. Okay, 1993. Think the gas tax will be raised because of paying the stimulus back, let alone the pipeline. Yeah, that's another reason. I think more toward infrastructure, but I mean, yeah, I mean, a tax is a tax. I mean, Washington doesn't care where the money comes from; they'll take anything they can get. Paul says they want gas at $8 a gallon. I can't. That I mean, again, like I said before, that would completely kill the economy. Joe Biden, the next Jimmy Carter. Yeah, Jimmy Carter would be happy. I mean, Obama's happy right now. They all get to take a step down in the list of worst presidents ever. I mean, right now, Obama's the worst and Jimmy Carter's the second. Biden comes in, they all take a step down, and now you're no longer known as the worst president ever. So, okay, where were we? I got to scroll up here again. Jared, when do we see new gun control? Like I said, I don't see it as gun control. I just see it as ammo taxes, and that I think you're going to have soon happen. Peter Del Campo, hurricanes affect oil delivery more than an offline pipeline. Sure. M&R Cat, wondering who's getting a plea bargain in the White House. Was it Hunter who interrupted his dad? Yeah, that was an interesting off-camera mic comment the other day, and I mean, from what I've heard, it was Hunter. Yeah, Teresa, keep telling these laughing liberals they won't be laughing for long. That's the funny part. Is economically, we all shop in the same grocery store. It doesn't matter if you're red, blue, or purple. Okay, and last time I checked, your employer wasn't paying you more because you were a Democrat or a Republican for doing the same job. So, if you're doing the job and, the loaf of bread goes from, $3 to $5 and your paycheck went from $15 to $15, you just wound up paying more for your loaf of bread. It doesn't matter what, political party you are in, but, they voted for this. I mean, when you say laugh at them, I just look at him and go, stop crying. You're the one to blame for this. You asked for it. I should be the one upset. You wanted this. Yeah, Yahoo, big time liberal outlet. No kidding. Ugh. Yeah, Peter Del Campo, Daddy told Liz to impeach. Yeah, the Cheneys. Amy, you like my hat? It's my Saturday night hat. Tick, 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 tick. Bruce Sear, what's with all the Bernie Sanders memes showing up all over Facebook? I don't know. I don't do Facebook. The only social media I do is this. Okay, unless you consider Rumble social media, and I don't think I've posted anything on Rumble in 2 weeks. So, because YouTube is actually leaving me alone and not killing any of my videos. Uh, hey, Prepper Nerd. Let's see. Brown rice, yeah, Peter Del Campo. Brown rice will go bad, yes, because brown rice does have oils in it. North Shore made it in. Good to see you here, buddy. Guys, if anybody doesn't know, North Shore goes on right after me. So to continue the prepper clubbing, but I will be done because I was on down on Boddington Farms live stream at 5 o'clock this morning. So yeah, I mean this at this point I'm already going for what pushing 17 hours here and unloaded another load of cow manure, so at least the cow manure is done. Uh, Paul, going to implement a mileage tax and utilize the auto's GPS systems, not tomorrow, but it is coming. Yeah, let him go for it. My car doesn't have GPS. That's fine. You know? And I can easily drive without my phone, too. Matter of fact, if I want to, I've still got a 3G phone I could put a SIM card in. Yeah, I saw Dixie Vixen says proposal from Buttigieg is to tax based on distance driven in addition to a gas tax. That has been a proposal for a while because when and you got to think about why. You know, again, this goes right back to what I'm saying is can't think past the tip of their nose. The left wanted, oh, we have to have electric cars. We have to have electric cars. We have to have electric cars. Great. So he started getting electric cars. And then they go, but we don't get any gas tax from electric cars. Oh, we never thought about that. So now we got to figure out how to tax them. Okay. So that's where this proposal from Buttigieg, it's nothing new. But it won't go anywhere. I mean, you know, I mean, if you've got any car, I mean, my truck is a 2010 and it doesn't have GPS in it. So, you know, unless you're buying new cars, which I'm guessing with the economy, there's not a whole lot of new car buying going on. Who cares? You know, I'll drive where I want, and you know, no, I'm not. You know, what did you? Oh, sorry, the truck's been broken down all year. I didn't go anywhere. Uh, all right, rolling it along. Yeah, Peter Del Campo, just like trying to prosecute an Napster violator. Exactly. Uh, and yeah, I guess everybody in here is old enough to remember what Napster is. I was to say, you talk to some people, you know, the younger kids, they don't even know. Uh, yeah, Amy Peacock, exactly what I said. They won't take the guns, but they're taking the ammo. Food for thought. That's how they'll do it. That's the only logistical way that makes sense. Uh, the Watchmen, they will phase in felony laws on the guns. That's how they will do it. But again, this goes back to who's going to enforce it. I know where I live, okay? Sheriffs, they want nothing that nope. They've already flat out said they're not enforcing any gun laws. Done. Okay. You know, and I mean you're gonna have a whole bunch of cops. They're gonna say, no, we're not enforcing this, it's unconstitutional. Uh, you know, that's what I said before. You'd have to have every cop and every military personnel, including the cooks and the admins, to go out and do this, and that's 1,250 houses apiece. Okay, you know, you take out the cooks and the admins and all the cops that refuse to do this, and you know now maybe you're talking about 15,000 houses apiece. All right, good luck. You know, it's going to take you 50 years per person to do that many houses. Uh, yeah, John Sorbo, they won't find any guns at my place. Damn boating accident. Yeah, if it ever happens, you know, somebody's gonna start dredging lakes and going, there's got to be millions of guns at the bottom of this lake. Okay, where are we going here? Oh, apparently we've got a troll in the house that C-Max took care of. Laura T, get a horse and buggy and travel in Amish style. Yeah, there you go. You can always do that. There's actually one of the horse farms, you know, where I get the horse manure. They've actually got two buggies out front that are for sale. Uh, Yeah, Bruce, how do you generate electricity? For the most part, it's done by generators that run on petrol. Unless of course you got a solar generator or whatever. But I mean, how much power are you going to get from you need a lot of solar panels to do it. So, but yeah, the majority of people have generators. They're gas generators. Stuart, any hope of a bowl of borscht soon? See, somebody's got to bring it up every time. And I mean, even when I was on Boddington's this morning, they're like, "Oh, gotta ask them." Yes, I keep asking Mrs. Pinball when we're gonna do it. I'm hoping soon because we have. I kid you not, guys. We haven't had any here in a couple of months at this point, and I'd like some too because I actually do like it. I like beets, believe it or not. Okay, where are we? Prepper 101. My guns and my COVID 19 vaccination records were also lost in a boating accident. There you go. Love it. Uh, TJ pop in somewhere. I see C-Max saying hello to her. Hello, TJ. Uh, Val says, "Where's the recipe for borscht?" It's coming, guys. I promise. Foggy Mountain Man, thank you for the super chat there. I do appreciate it. Scrolling, trying to find where we are here. Peter, I'm trying mushroom substrate compost this year in my garden. I used some. It's really good stuff. The problem is, and you probably know this by now, mushroom compost is very expensive. But I've got some in the flower garden that's right in the backyard. We put that underneath the uh, topsoil and stirred all that in. That was one of the very first things we did when we moved in a couple of years ago. And that garden grows like gangbusters. So, yeah, good stuff. Uh, Hide and snipe. I don't know what that means, Ed. Oh, you got yours for wow. That's if you got free mushroom compost, you're doing good. They wanted $60 a tractor scoop load out here for me. I mean, so that would have been, I get about 2.5 loads in my trucks, $150 for a pickup truck load. I was like, that ain't happening. So, because I called this year, last year was $30, and I thought that, or 2 years ago was 2019, yeah, it was $30, and now it's $60. I'm like, sorry, not happening. C-Mex, told your husband you're talking him to think about doing a YouTube channel for our homesteading journey. It looks terrified. Well, he'll come around. I mean, who knows? Maybe he decides to get on board and do something, or maybe he's just your cameraman. So, but I have a lot of fun doing this. I mean, hey, I get to meet all you guys, which is a lot of fun. So it's work. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I probably spend about 4 hours a day, between doing the research for my videos, recording the video, replying to comments and stuff like that. But it's enjoyable. It's either that or watch something stupid on TV. And at least with you guys, I learned stuff. So, like I said in one of the comments, I mean, I learn as much from you guys as I teach to people. I mean, lately it hasn't been a whole lot of teaching. So, going that way. Jules, anyone in Ohio needs some chicken manure? I have it for you. Boy, I wish I could come get some, but that'd be a long drive for me. Uh, Busted beak. So if your state law supports the Second Amendment, what are the feds able to do? Well, okay, here's where this one gets interesting. The state cannot write a law that supersedes federal law. Okay, they can write something that's more restrictive, but they can't write something that's less restrictive. Okay, that's just the way Constitution works. So if the federal government says the drinking age is 21, Tennessee could say the drinking age is 24, and that's fine, but Tennessee can't say the drinking age is 18. Okay, they can't make it less restrictive than the federal law. However, and we've seen this by about a half a dozen states already, who have come in and said they are going to make their states or their parts of their states Second Amendment sanctuary states using the same legal jargon, legal precedent that these illegal immigrant sanctuary states are. Okay. So we're going to see how that all pans out. So that could be real interesting. The feds are going to fight it, but we'll see how far it goes. It's no different than Trump fighting against, say, Gavin Newsom for the sanctuary state stuff. And then you get into all this legal wrangling. I'm going to withhold money. You can't legally do that. And yada, 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 yada. So that's what I said. The 2A ain't going anywhere, guys. I said that, 6 ways from Sunday about what it would have to be done constitutionally. And it's just, it's not going to happen. The way anything will go is they will price you out of the market. That's pretty much what it's going to be. And then all that's going to do is create a black market. Whiskey Woman Whisks, we're doing rabbit poop this year. Yeah, rabbit manure is by far your best fertilizer. It's not, you're not going to get enough to plant in. It's probably also too rich to it. But I mean, like I said, I take my horse manure, my cow manure, my compost, and my topsoil and straw and mix all that together to make my soil for my gardens. I've never tried planting in direct rabbit manure. I guess it's probably too hot, but I've never done it, so I couldn't say it. But I don't think that'd be an awful lot. I mean, I'm getting truckloads of cow manure. Can you imagine how much rabbit poop would have to get truckloads of rabbit? You have to have like a huge rabbit farm. Bruce, do I have a shooting range on my property? Just asking. No, I do not, but somebody in my mag up the mountain does. So that kind of makes it nice. Go up there and just go shooting with them. Reaching Cold Mountain before you. That's interesting. Stock sulfur soap. You rescued a sick kitten. It got scabies. Didn't know. 3 doctors, 1 ER visit. It took a dermatologist to diagnose sulfur soap would have stopped it. Now, you caught me when you said scabies, because scabies is something that people can get, guys, and it's not difficult. I actually got it one time when I was in the Army because the mattress, I mean, you're in military, and obviously you get one guy's in the bed, next guy's in the bed, and the mattress I had wound up getting scabies from the mattress. And so yeah, I mean, I didn't know that, so that's a good thing. Reaching Coleman, where did you find sulfur soap? I mean, that would be something to definitely add to the preps. Jared, saw where cicadas are due in Tennessee this year. Will it affect the garden? I thought last year was our cicada year. I remember the chirping like crazy. Bugs Bunny on the loose with rabbit poop. Yeah, cicadas would affect the garden. Yeah, Nancy Young. Yeah, I know it's not hot. You can put it on the garden immediately. I'm just saying, I don't think you could use just rabbit manure as your soil and just plant directly in rabbit manure. I think that's where I'm saying it's hot. It's way too rich. Like you can't put a plant directly in a bag of fertilizer. That's not going to work. Rabbit manure is good for fertilizer. It's not good for creating soil out of. Rabbit urine too. Look for concentrated liquid fertilizer for seedlings. Yeah. Jane Delaney, what do I see as a positive in 2021? There's going to be a lot of positives this year, guys. Okay. Hopefully, COVID starts to wane off. All right. And we get back. The economy, hopefully, we start getting businesses open again. Positives that I see, even if we don't have, even if things get crazy, it's a good chance for people, neighbors, to really start to know each other. I mean, I go back to when I was a kid, And I think I've told this story before. And everybody on the block, all the kids played, and all the parents would sit on the porch and talk and everything. And like I said, when I lived in Vegas, I mean, I lived there for 2 years, and the guy who lived to the house right next door to me, I never met him, never talked to the guy. So I think that you might socialness outside of social media, I think, is probably going to be what will pick up in 2021. I think we'll have more of a sense of community here in 2021. I think that's probably the biggest thing that I'll see it happening. David Lee, Biden loves the little children and all the children of the world. Jules, good. I've decided there will be positives in 2021, even if I have to make them myself. Good. Jared, 17 years cicadas in East Tennessee in 2021 per WBIR and WATE. It just keeps getting better. Thanks for kicking me in the cojones. Brett Ringer, yep, I think it'll be good for society if things get bad economically. Exactly. We're going to have to work together at that point. If things get bad economically, I may have to trade a couple of pounds of green beans for a dozen eggs or whatever it would be. I mean, those are good things. Okay. It gets you to know people, and actually talking face to face and not like we're doing right here is a good thing. I wish you guys were all sitting around the table right here and we were just talking. It'd be a lot more fun. I wouldn't have to read. I could hear you. Ricky, Virginia cicadas this year. If it's East Tennessee, I mean, I can be in Virginia in a half an hour from where I am, so that would make sense. Oh, geez, it's 9:56. Boy, that hour flew by quick, didn't it, guys? Yeah, JQ, Biden voters are going to realize how much they got played. Yeah, they are. The thing is this, honestly, and I'm going to say this as a hypothetical, okay? And by no means do I believe this, but hypothetically, let's say that the election was 100% legit, okay? Hypothetical. I don't think the votes Biden got were necessarily because the people wanted him. I think it was just enough people that didn't want Trump. And not because of Trump's policies. I mean, his policies were great. His personality put off a lot of people. And the tweeting, I don't think helped his cause, okay? Yeah, it got him to talk directly to the people, but it also got a little bit ridiculous at some points too, just spending too much time bitching. And I've personally believed that there were a lot of people that kind of went like this and voted for Biden. That's the only thing I can think of, because the rest of it just didn't make sense to me. But like I said, that's a hypothetical. Val, let's have a party with Borscht after this disease is over. I'll bring the champagne for ladies and beer for guys. And there you go. 350 people at my kitchen table. Hey, we can fit 350 people on my property. Couldn't fit 350 people in a house, that's for sure. Thanks, Peter Del Campo. I appreciate the compliment there. Yeah, CMAX, Trump's presentation was why he failed. I mean, I really don't know how to put it in words. It's, you can be, what could I compare him to? I'll give you this story here real quick, okay? And this goes back 30 years. I lived down in Dallas, and my roommate was dating one of the Cowboys cheerleaders. And so he got invited to a Cowboys team party with his girlfriend. And of course, they invited me and my girlfriend to come with. So we went, and, fun party, everything like that. And, this is the time of Troy Aikman, Emmett Smith, Michael Irvin, everything. And so got to meet Troy Aikman. Biggest asshole I ever met. I mean, just complete ass. Great quarterback, complete ass. That's kind of how Trump somewhat fit, okay? Same thing. Great president, not exactly the guy I want to sit down and have a beer with and shoot the shit on the back porch with. Just, You could play the rah, 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 I'm your guy. He did that well, but I don't think that's just, again, that's personal thought. But John Sorbo, like the hat, still waiting for the aluminum foil one. I know. I thought about doing it last week. I completely forgot about it this week. I'm just terrible. No Borscht, no aluminum foil hat. So, all right, guys. Tis 10 o'clock. I'm going to let you all go so North Shore can pick up here in the next couple of minutes. But I thank you all for everything, guys. Happy Saturday. Enjoy your Sunday with whatever you do. Stay warm, stay safe. Love you all. Pinball out.